Trying to recover from a broken down heart. It's so hard starting over, fighting your way in the dark. Memories of you haunt me every second of the day. They keep yelling at me in the silence they portray. Screaming in the night, wakes me up from my sleep. My eyes are soaking wet from all the tears that I weep. When you coming home is a question on my mind, but you never answer me, ignoring me.
Somebody's got to make a play. That's what you're saying on defense. And you play 59.5 minutes to come down to one play.
Can the beleaguered Packers defense hang on? 4th and 1.
And it all comes down to this 4th and 1. Welcome to Lambeau. First place in the NFC North on the line.
The division-leading Chicago Bears at 9-3 take on the 8-3-1 Green Bay Packers.
This is what we're looking for. Division matchup, freezing cold in December.
Today, we are going to see a game that looks like and feels like two teams that don't like each other.
It's going to be a four-quarter fist fight, 60 minutes of shooting these guys.
Let's take care of business. Let's take back control of the North.
It's time, dominate. This is our division.
He's hit in the open field and taken down. 1-on-1, Javon Bullard. Lost the middle, going for Watson, got it! Touchdown, Green Bay Packers! Christian Watson!
A little inside, look out! Oh, what a play that was by Brooks!
The Packers leading 7-3 in the final seconds of this first half. Love Rainbow's middle, wide open, it is a touchdown for Bo Melton! Yes!
To have a moment like that definitely meant everything.
Breaks through, he's in trouble, smash! Enagbari got through.
Love in the shotgun, takes the snap, quick throw and look at got Watson cutting left to the house for the touchdown, Christian Watson!
I already knew what it was. I said, oh, he's gone. And I'm not betting against him in the full race against anybody.
So let's go win it. This is all we got right here. Everybody knows what time it is. They know what this drive means and what we got to go out there and do.
3rd and goal. It is Jacobs plowing up the middle. Josh Jacobs is in. Touchdown Packers.
And that's good old-fashioned NFC North football. Football is an emotional game, especially when you talk about Packers-Bears. There's just a heightened sense of emotion.
When all of us are clicking, we got a really talented defense. I think we got the best defense in the league.
Williams looking, throwing, it is intercepted! The Packers will win it!
25 comes out the blue and makes a play.
A leaping interception by Keyshawn Nixon.
That's what you want. You want the best players to make the big plays, and when they're back against the wall, you got to win. It's 4th and 1, ain't no bigger play than that, so it's a hell of a win for us.
And there is your dagger!
Matt LaFleur's Packers take over first place in the NFC North.
The 211th meeting between the Packers and Bears. What an epic battle this was!
Love is now finally making a surge toward the MVP odds. It's really interesting, and I'm guilty of this. We tend to crown young quarterbacks probably before they need to be crowned. I loved Bo Nix as a rookie. He still had a lot of growth. Jaden Daniels, I'm like, that's the best rookie quarterback I've ever seen. There's only one quarterback in the NFL, it feels like, is the opposite, who's been great for several years, and nobody will crown him. Jordan Love of the Packers. I would call it the Colin criteria. There are certain things I love, and he checks all the boxes. His hat's on forward. He's great at the podium. He's big. I like traits. Short memory after bad interceptions. He's mobile, but actually prefers the pocket. He's aggressive on the deep ball. He loves to throw it deep, spreads the ball around to teammates, never gets in trouble at the podium. Yet outside of Wisconsin, people are really, whoa. I text last night a GM in the league, and I said, if you had Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love both available on the market, he said, come on, 6'4", 220, doesn't throw picks, doesn't need a great O-line. He's like, every GM in the league would take Jordan Love. But you'll get pushback on that. And so, and I've thought about this before. What is it with Jordan Love? And my guess is if they win this weekend against Denver, he gets a 5-game winning streak. He just has never gone on that Favre heater or that Aaron Rodgers heater. And even the win over Chicago, you're like, well, it was the defense with an interception. But this is one of these, everything I want in my quarterback. Grateful, humble, hat on forward, adult, aggressive, but doesn't take unnecessary risks. He is the one quarterback in the league that's great, but nobody will crown him. He's tremendous. Tremendous. And I actually think this weekend, Green Bay and Denver feels like to some a preview of the Super Bowl.
Completion percentage up, interception total down. If that's not a sign that Jordan Love is playing some of the best football of his career, then Packers coach Matt LaFleur doesn't know what is. As for why that's happening, well, LaFleur said the more he plays, the more comfortable he gets with our offense and within the system, and the more comfortable he gets with his surrounding cast. As for that cast, well, Love has been fortunate to get some players back as the season has gone along. Last month, it was receiver Christian Watson coming back from last year's torn ACL. Last week, it was receiver Jaden Reed coming back from his week 2 collarbone and foot surgeries. At the rate Love is going, he could be making a push for an MVP award.
One of the storylines from Week 14, which was chock full of impactful games, that late afternoon game at Lambeau Field, the Bears and the Packers, Chicago's first taste of Micah Parsons as a member of the Green Bay franchise, and, one of the realities. And I want to make the broader observation here. Holding happens all the time, and it's not called.
Right.
It really is disgusting how often it happens. When Joe Alt came back for the Chargers Week 8 against the Minnesota Vikings in the game where the Chargers just destroyed the Vikings, they had a pack in the second half of Alt highlights from the night. Every single one of them was a hold. Every single one of them was a hold. And so, it's almost to the point where they look the other way on the arm across the neck and the grabber. Well, did it really affect? I'm old enough to remember that when you blocked, you could only do this.
Right.
Holly and I talked about this, I think it was the day after that Vikings-Chargers game, because this is one of the classic poses of electric football figures, because this was how you could block. It was revolutionary to let offensive linemen use their hands to block, because this is the best way to avoid a hold. You can't hold if this is your posture for blocking.
Right.
Maybe we need to go back to this. But see, then the quarterbacks wouldn't be able to throw the ball all over the place. They want the passing games. They want touchdowns. They want points. They want people to put the action down on the overs. So, they're going to look the other. I know it's more egregious with Micah Parsons, Chris, but the broader issue here is holding happens all the time. And when it's called, it's like, well, why was that play any different than the 10 where you didn't call it?
Yeah. No, they've gotten too lax with the calling altogether. I think for the reasons you're talking about. 1 point, 2, protecting the quarterback's the number one thing in the sport right now. So if they're like, oh, he held them a little, but Mahomes threw a nice throw there, they're like, yeah, just let him throw the nice throw. We won't call it. It does feel like they're that way a little bit. I think this is one, though, where it crossed the lines of, your normal, bumping and rubbing is racing and all that type of stuff, right? When I watched the game live on Sunday, Devin McCourty will tell you, when we were doing our show and just getting ready to start, I was going, I always watch Micah Parsons. It's hard not to watch him when he's on the field because it's like, wait, one guy's moving way more fast and aggressive than everybody else on the football field. This guy's amazing to watch. It's like watching the Tasmanian Devil out there on the football field. So I'm watching, and there was definitely some passing situations where I was like, man, it feels like the Bears have gotten away with some big holds on Micah Parsons. And let me just tell you, these aren't some of even the egregious. We might get to some of them, but this is, to me, to your point a little bit.
Look at at that. He's got his hand
look
on
at this
his
right
throat.
here. Look at that one there. I mean, and again, there's going to be worse. You know, I told other plays and brought them up to everybody in commercial break to talk about. But, yes, held consistently and bear hugged a lot of the time. And also, this is where I feel like, like to your point, like having a grown man that's 330 pounds and his arm is around you like this, I don't care how strong you are, that's going to slow you down. I see that too much with receivers too. The guys, people go, oh, he barely touched him. And it's like, wait, the guy grabbed his waist. Go out there and run right now. Let me grab your waist and let me show you how much that slows you down to not be able to go get the ball. But here's ones where we have Darnell Wright and Trapillo, like their arms are around him on the backside of his shoulders at times, like that, holding him. And, yeah, that's not fair. And that, to me, it crossed the line a little bit, even the little I went back and watched on film, too.
Two things.
Yeah.
One, I asked somebody from the Packers yesterday, do you have a list of, like, you know, your top 5 plays that you believe this happened? And the response was, just watch any play.
Yeah, it's
watch
almost every
play.
it's almost
so
yeah.
What we showed you
right.
is it and look, it reminds me of the Legion of Boom. Remember the Legion of Boom? Remember what their approach was?
Yeah.
We're going to hold the receivers on every play. They're not going to call it every play.
Right.
We're going to hold them on every play, and we're going to force them to call it. They're only going to call the most egregious ones, and net benefit for us because we're holding them on every play. Apparently, that's what the Bears. Why not do that? Hold him every play, force the officials to bog the game down. They're not calling holding as it is anyway. I mean, this really is a crappy way to do business, NFL. You've allowed these officials to just look the other way on holding because we got to score points, we got to score touchdowns, we want people to bet the overs on these parlays. No, it's football, and you're not supposed to hold the defensive lineman, and we see it all the time. It is. And I'm sorry, if the defensive linemen are that much better than the offensive linemen, like, change the rules and allow holding then. Either enforce the rules you have or change them. I don't know. Maybe that should just be the rule. You can do anything you want to keep the defensive lineman and the linebacker from getting to the quarterback.
Well, you
can put your hand on their throat.
Just keep it
you can
in
put
here.
him in a full Nelson, whatever that is.
Right. Well, it used to be just keep it in here. Now we're getting into, wait, I can hold him out here and do this and do all that, what we're talking about. And here, I know we got some other plays, Courtney and Kristen. Let's show them here a little bit. You know, this wasn't maybe the right one. Okay, we might have missed it. Oh, here's one. Here we go. Look at this.
It doesn't matter. We've made our point.
Look
we don't
at
have
that.
to show all these. We've made our point.
Okay,
but go ahead.
I just wanted to show them either way. I mean, look at that here. Look at this.
Go ahead.
You see this? I mean, again, that's what I'm talking about. You see a lot of that right there.
And he's looking right at him.
Right.
He's looking right at him.
Yeah.
He's looking right at him as he's doing it.
This is a 340-pound man in Darnell Wright. You know, again, if that's not holding, I don't know what it is. And I would tell you that it's not every pass play, but it feels like it's 3 out of every 4, 3 out of every 5, and that's way too much. Right.
If they're not going to call it, why not do it? That's what I would tell my team.
Right.
If I'm the offensive line coach, here's how we're going to do it, because they don't call it.
Right.
This is what we're going to do, because they don't call it. And so if they don't call it, it's not a foul. Right? It's like a tree that falls in the woods. If no one's there to hear it, it's not a foul. It doesn't make a sound. We got to make them call it. I think it's smart. It's the only way to stop the guy. Otherwise, he's going to destroy the game and ultimately render your quarterback incapacitated. Here's Matt LaFleur from after the game on Micah Parsons not getting holding calls.
I don't know. I don't know. I thought there was one that certainly was questionable, to say the least, but apparently the officials disagree. So it is what it is, and we just got to continue to strain and fight and try to get to the quarterback. I'm not going to get into what we were talking about. I just, officials, I don't think that their jobs are easy by any stretch. I think it is a difficult job, but, I guess I don't know what holding is anymore, because I thought that was pretty clear and obvious hold, but I guess I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Matt LaFleur had a press conference around Halloween, and he was asked about Halloween, and he said, "I don't give a shit about Halloween." I'm quoting him there. He apparently cares about Christmas because he's trying to keep his money so he can buy Christmas gifts. He's treading lightly on the line of being fined in what he said. But he's absolutely right. And I really do wonder, has this just kind of happened among the officials, or has someone put the word out that we want to neutralize these pass rushers because we want to goose the passing game?
It feels that way. It feels that way. And I can't tell you how many times this year I've heard that type of talk from coaches. Like, I guess I don't know what the rule is anymore. That's not a good look for the league. When your coaches who know football better than anybody in 345, they're not sure what the hell penalties or how the game works anymore. That's not good. And again, I'll go back to the same thing I said on Football Night in America when the ball landed in the first row with the pass interference and the hot dog vendor had a better chance of catching it than the Colts receiver. Like, we got to get back to common sense football a little bit. We've lost it here. Like, common sense. Guy that looks like bear hugging a human is holding. Like, come on. Guy that looks like bear that's 345 pounds, when his arm is around you, I don't care who you are, both arms are around you, you're not going anywhere. Common sense. Holding. So that's where it's frustrating, and yeah, that's where we'll continue. It's an all-time low of a year for officiating in the NFL. It's the worst it's ever been, and the spotlight's so on it right now that it's going to be a story down the stretch, and it's going to be a story. And the
standpoint, when you watch the tape of this Bears game, what did you see from the wide receiver group, from the passing attack, with you out there, with Christian doing what he was doing?
It was just a high level of execution. Everybody's just doing their job, and everything else fell in place. So that's kind of what I seen Sunday.
This upcoming Sunday, you have a team that's very good at pressuring the quarterbacks. Obviously, you guys don't give up a lot of sacks, but Denver's going to try to do that. Is that in the minds of wide receivers? Like, you need to get your head around quicker, any of that stuff when you play a team like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's just what we've been harping on. Just winning your one-on-ones is the main goal this week. So, they got a great team, great defense, and, I think we got a great offense. We just got to execute.
Jane, from what you've seen from this Denver defense that really has no holes, where are you guys trying to attack, and what are you looking for offensively?
It's really just executing on whatever play is called, man. That's our job, and, just to win our one-on-ones, like I said. That'll be huge for us. As long as we win our one-on-ones, we'll be in good shape.
Were the last 2 years traveling there valuable, the game and then the preseason practice and whatnot? Does that help as you get ready to go to altitude again?
Not being there for so long, I don't think you can really adapt to it, for a long term. But, while you're there, you can hydrate and, eat the right nutritions and stuff. I think that'll help out a lot. So.
Jaden, did it feel like you hadn't played football since week 2, or did it all come back to you pretty quick?
I think in practice it kind of did, but, as it got closer to the game, I got right back in the flow of it, so I was pretty good once I got back out there.
At what point was there a play where you're like, okay, this is what I'm used to?
I mean, I got the ball first play of the game, so I think that kind of helped a lot. So, yeah.
So you know that going into the game, or going, that first pass is coming to you, was that intentional?
Pretty much, yeah. Yep.
You guys have been very supportive of each other in the wide receiver group. How much internal competition is there? Not to be better than the other guy, but you want the ball. Somebody else wants the ball.
We just expect the best out of each other. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what we expect. It's not really, you want to do better than another guy because, any given week, any guy's, expected to go off. So you see that in our room. It's been spurts where everybody had their week where, they had a great performance, and, we just got a lot of guys in our room that's able to do that. So.
You were thrown down hard a couple times. Did you need that? Was there any mental?
Yeah, I was kind of trying to engage in a little contact. I did a few times in practice last week too, so I feel pretty good. So.
You're back. Christian got back about a month ago. It's coming together. You guys realize now what's going on in this race. It's there for the taking, and Time to do something great?
Yeah, I just think everything fall into place at the right time, and you know, it's just our job to, you know, continue to, you know, execute and do our job, you know, for this home stretch, because it's very important to, you know, what we got going into the rest of the season. So.
How good is that Denver defense when you turn on the film?
Really good, man. They got a real good pass rush. They get home pretty fast. You know, they got a pretty good secondary as well. Got some good physicality over there, so we just got to match the intensity.
When you see a matchup with a guy like Surtain, should you see him, what's that like going against a guy like that? Do you try to pick matchups that aren't that, or do you go right at that best on best?
I mean, I just believe whatever the read is in the play, you know, that we're going to go after that, and then, you know, the rest will take care of itself. So.
Yourself coming out of retirement to go quarterback a team?
Man, never say never, but I don't know. That's good for him.
What's the challenge this week?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously they're a very good defense. You know, probably one of the best defenses we've seen all year, and the numbers are, you know, all kind of back that. But, yeah, I think, you know, obviously the pass rush they have, the sacks they've been able to generate, and just, I mean, you look at the defense all across the board, I think they got really good players and a really good scheme. So it'll be a good test for us to be able to go out there and, you know, see what we can do as offense.
Is there anything you could take from that matchup against the Browns and their pass rush, knowing that you're going to face probably one of the best pass rushes in the NFL this Sunday?
Yeah, I think anytime, you know, you got going against elite pass rushers and, you know, a good all-around rush it's all about, you know, playing on time as a quarterback. You know, obviously trying to get the ball out as quickly as possible, not trying to hold on to it sometimes. And then, you know, really just knowing where your checkdowns are if you do feel some pressure and things like that. But, yeah, you know, you just got to go out there, find ways to execute. And if the pocket breaks down at times, try and find ways to escape. But really just, you know where their good pass rushers are at all times. You know, we'll be on silent count, so that always plays, you know, another element of, you know, them trying to time the cadence up and things like that. So, yeah, it'll just be a good test.
From the outside, it kind of feels a little bit like 2023 for this offense. We guys struggled early and it got really hot down the stretch. Does it feel like that at all internally?
You know, I'd say it's different. You know, I think, like you mentioned, I do feel like we're in a really good place right now. And past couple weeks, we've been doing some pretty cool things on offense and, you know, putting up a good amount of points. But, you know, as we always say, I still think there's more out there for us. And kind of like you mentioned in the 23 season, yeah, we started off slow and I think started finding things that worked for us and get in that groove. But yeah, I think right now we're getting some guys back healthy, which has been huge for us. And yeah, I think we're just playing at a high level right now. So it's something we just got to keep going and keep stacking. But I'd say it feels a little bit different. But I think everybody's got a lot of confidence in what we're doing right now.
What is it about Matt that when you guys do find yourself in maybe a little bit of a rut midway through a season, he's able to help you guys as an offense pull yourself out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that all just plays a part in his play calling ability, you know, his ability to understand kind of what we're doing well and just kind of the self-scout we do. And just, like I said, figure out what we're doing well, figure out what we're not doing as well, and kind of pivot on that and just keep doing those things and keep finding ways just to keep getting the playmakers and guys who are going out there and making plays, keep getting them the ball. And so I think he does a good job at that. But, you know, I think we just got such a deep playbook where you can find different ways to get guys involved. And like I said, if plays aren't working, he's good at finding ways to adjust, and especially in game. You know, if we go into it with a plan, you know, a certain plan going into the game, and you know they come out with maybe different defense that we weren't anticipating. You know, we're able to make some pretty good in-game adjustments to get back and put ourselves in a good position.
Jordan, why do you think you're hitting on some more of the down the field throws? And I'm not just talking about like the goal balls, but just those medium, over the field, 15, 20, 30-yard air shots. Why do you think you're hitting on some more of those?
I think it's just, you know, the trust we got in me and the receivers, and guys are winning on their routes and getting open and making plays. And, you know, I think you know, our relationship, everybody just, you know, knowing where we're going to be, you know, having that timing down. And obviously we've had a lot of guys who've been in this offense for a while, and just the trust to know where guys are going to be at, how they're running certain routes, I think is all there. It all plays a part in that. But, you know, I think, you know, I always try and do a good job of just making sure I give guys a chance, and guys are making plays on, you know, if it's a 50-50 ball, if it's, you know, wherever the ball might be. And I think a big part of it is just the receivers winning on routes.
Do you feel like you've gotten more accurate? Because your off-target percentage is much, much lower than it has been in the past.
Definitely. Definitely it's something, I've worked on. And like I said, I think just the more reps you get, understanding where you need to put certain balls on certain routes and the type of coverage you're seeing, just knowing where to go with it and feeling comfortable at the timing and the trust of the receivers. I think all that plays a part in that. So I definitely feel comfortable right now doing everything. And, it's something that I just try and be as accurate as possible, be the best QB I can be on every play.
Jordan, I know Benito's having a big year, but they've got like a whole bunch of guys that have, multiple sacks throughout the course of the year. How much harder does that make it when they have so many guys who've contributed to that big sack number?
Yeah, I mentioned before, but I think they have a really solid group all around. It's not just one guy that you can finger point out, but all around that defense, and especially the D-line, you look at it, they got playmakers and guys who are making plays and winning their one-on-one matchups. So, it's a little bit different than, maybe a team that only has one solid edge rusher that you're trying to make sure you get chips and lock down that side. But, you kind of got 5 guys who've all won at different times versus different teams. So, we just got to do a good job up front. I got a lot of confidence in our line. They've been doing a great job. And I think even they've been getting better and better as the season's gone on in pass pro. So, like I said, it'll be a good test.
Generally speaking, when you can make those checks at the line of scrimmage, is that behind that decision, is that all film work? Is it the matchup in the moment? Is there a field component to it? All the above? Like, what goes into some of those decisions?
I think it's all the above. I think it's, the work we put in meeting room, throughout the course of the week, game planning for a team. And the coaches do a good job of showing us all these different looks and making sure we have a plan for whatever we're going to see. And obviously it comes down to us being able to go out there, recognize, what coverages we're getting, and everybody be on the same page when we start making checks to the line and just being dialed in so we can pick some of the protection stuff up we need to pick up. And then obviously the receivers will be able to go out there and win some of the routes. But it just takes everybody being dialed in. I think that's another area that, we've grown in. Everybody being in this offense for a little while now has been able to grow, and we've had moments where, we've got burnt and we haven't been able to, score touchdowns maybe if a team brings all out. And I think you just got to learn and grow from those moments.
Jordan, I asked you about Matt. What's going through your mind late in the first half Sunday when you were getting ready to go back on the field, try to put a 2-minute drive together, and you see the clock draining down the way it was?
When the defense was on the field, you're saying?
Yeah. It could have. You had 3 timeouts. Could have stopped it.
You're talking about the end of the game,
Yeah.
end of the first half. Oh, anytime you're on the sideline and kind of you get to the end of the half where, you're on the sideline watching, you're just hoping that you're able to get enough time to be able to put a drive together, really just see what the situation is. But it's obviously the time's going down. You're thinking of different plays you might be getting to if you get an opportunity, and we're all talking on the sideline about what we want to get to, depending on what the situation might be. But I think guys upstairs do a good job of kind of calculating how much time we might have left if we get the ball back and what the situation is going to be, and just making sure everybody's on the same page. But it's one of those where you never know what's going to happen. If they might get a first down, end up have to kick a field goal right there, or even we get a takeaway. So you just got to be ready for whatever.
Is it important for a quarterback to have an idea or be cued in on the game management part, the clock management part of things that your head coach is thinking, or just kind of leave that to him?
No, definitely. You definitely got to be keyed in at all times. I think that's a very important part of playing the QB position. Especially in the end of half, in the game, those 2-minute situations, that's when you got to be at your best. And, that's why we practice these situations all the time throughout practice to make sure everybody's dialed in and really just knows what we're doing and knows what we need to do in any situation. And, you go back to the Dallas game, how, we almost ended the game in overtime by not even be able to get the play off and run out of time. So just how dialed in everybody has to be in those situations, and like you said, kind of understand what Matt might be thinking as a play caller and just what that situation is, what's needed.
Jordan, for you, you haven't turned the ball over a lot this season, but anytime you have, you've responded, you can say, in a big way. Have you always had that, I guess, shake it off mentality since you played, or has that just kind of grown over time?
Yeah, I think you can say I've always had that. I think it's something that every quarterback has to have. Every player on the football team has to have. It's never going to be perfect out there. You'll make a mistake at some point, no matter what situation it is. As a quarterback, putting the ball in harm's way, throwing an interception. you got to be able to bounce back at all times and, have tough skin, move on, and just play the next play at a high level and try and forget it, learn from it, but at the same time forget about it and not let that carry over and, hinder, your performance or your confidence in throwing the ball downfield. So something you just got to keep going.
You had that joint practice session last year in Denver. Could you see then that maybe they had things coming along in their defense?
Definitely. I think looking back at the joint practice, it was one of those days where it wasn't our best day as an offense. And, I think you can credit them and their defense for some of the stuff they did. But, that's what I think the joint practice is cool. You get to go out there and, obviously, in preseason, you get to go see a team and compare yourself to them and see where you're at. And, it was definitely a time where we saw what they're all about. And, I think they've had a pretty good defense and scheme for the last couple of years. We saw them a couple of years ago as well in 23. But, they got good players. And I think even this year they've added a lot more good players to that team.
What makes Surtain so good?
Yeah, I think he's just a smart corner. I think you look at his technique and everything he does it at a very high level. But I think the next step for him is just his ability to kind of read what the receivers are doing and just play that sticky coverage. There's sometimes you see on film where he's breaking on things before the receivers even kind of breaking. So I think it just goes into his film study, his knowledge of the game, and his confidence in himself. But yeah, I think he does a lot of things at a very high level.
You've had quite a few of those games like Sundays where you had 8 possessions, 9 possessions. Does that increase the pressure when you go out there knowing that you only get another couple shots at it, even if it's the third quarter?
Definitely. You always, anytime you go back on the field, we have the mindset where we got to go maximize every possession. We always want to finish every drive in the end zone. If not that, we want to finish with a kick, a field goal or but you always got to maximize every drive. And like you said, the thing we've been seeing the past couple weeks is teams been putting longer drives together and trying to run the ball, do different things. So, I think in that case, you just got to, you never know, when might be your last possession. So you just got to try and maximize every time.
Second level to go against the top team in the AFC to kind of test yourselves in a different way than you have maybe these last couple of weeks?
100%. I mean, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. Obviously a playoff caliber defense. So, that's the type of games we're going to get down here in the stretch. So, it definitely is. It's going to be an exciting one.
What's the toughness of playing at altitude? I know you guys were there a couple of years ago. Is there anything to that? I think Warren said it's more mental. What do you think?
You talking about like just
playing at altitude? Yeah.
I would definitely say it's not mental. It definitely has its physical effects for sure. It's just something you just got to fight through. It's not anything that you can't obviously get through. So, just got to make sure doing right. Making sure you're hydrated, getting the carb load in, and you should be good.
You've won 4 straight. They've won 10 straight. You both know how to win games. What's it come down to when 2 teams have one lead?
It's going to come down to whoever is, makes the most plays. We just got to go out there and be able to, out physical them and out execute. Whoever executes the best is going to win the game.
Christian, how do you game plan for a defense with no holes, no weaknesses at all?
I wouldn't say that they have no weaknesses or holes. I definitely think that there's, plays to be made. Your playmakers got to make plays. We got to be solid in our game plan, and I think that there are some ways that we can go out there and make plays. We just got to execute and take what they give us.
Why have you had road success this year, maybe more so than other years as a team?
I don't really think I've thought of it compared to other years, but I just think that we've just been trying to stack these weeks. I think that we have a really good team ourselves, so we've just been able to execute in certain times when we need to, and I think we've been doing good at getting a little bit better each and every week and a little bit more consistent. We just got to keep that going.
Christian, to follow up on the question about they have a very good defense. When you play a good defense, obviously you're respectful of it, but is it your belief generally as a team like yours, if we do our stuff, we can overpower, we can defeat that defense? Is that the mentality?
100%. Obviously they've got a really good defense, but I think that we've got a lot of confidence in our offense. If we want to get to where we want to go, we're going to have to play against really good defenses, and if we want to achieve the goal that we want to achieve, I mean, we're going to have to be, one of the best offenses in the league. So, I think that we just kind of think about ourselves in that aspect. And, we know what we've got. We just got to go out there and make plays.
How much pride are you personally taking in your impact in this offense, growing as the season is going on at the end here?
A ton. I want to be able to, make the plays when my number is called. I want to be able to extend, plays and, get yak and just be a big impact. So I definitely take a lot of pride in being able to do so.
Christian, did you work against Surtain in the joint workout last year?
I probably had a few reps against them, not anything crazy that I remember.
Okay, so you expect them to foul you in this game?
That's not something that I, care too much about or I'm going to read into too much. If that's, their plan, then, obviously we'll be ready for it. I'll watch, film on all their DBs, but, it's not something that I'm looking into too much. We'll see, see what they come out with.
Christian, when you pointed at the Chicago DB, did you kind of know what it was when you had that deep crosser that ended up going for your second touchdown?
I was just re-signaling out the play to Rome, so I was just letting Rome know that I got the can. I wasn't necessarily pointing at the guy. I was just making sure that everyone knew what the plan was. But as soon as he canned it, I knew what the outcome was going to be.
Christian, with obviously what you went through the last 10, 11 months, obviously every single opportunity you want to take advantage of it, but is there an extra sense of every opportunity that comes my way, I want to take advantage of it because of what you experienced?
And can you say the beginning again?
Extra sense of, wow, when I get an opportunity, I want to make sure I take advantage of it even more because you were without football for 10, 11 months.
I'd definitely say that's probably a secondary thought. I'm definitely thinking about that, but that's not like my main concern. I've kind of said it before. I didn't really push too many expectations on myself. I just wanted to go out there and play. So I haven't been thinking too much about the fact that I've missed games. I'm just thinking about the game that I'm playing in right then. But I'd say it's a little bit of a thought, just nothing I've looked into too much. I'm just grateful to be playing now.
Christian, as a receiver, silly question, but these all-white uniforms, you guys like wearing those? You've had some of your best games, 4 really good games, right?
Yeah, I do. I think they look really cool. So, I'm all about the swag and all that when I'm out there. So I definitely enjoy wearing them.
Does that manifest itself in any sort of swag with your play at all? They say look good.
Yeah, that's the saying, and I believe in it. I believe in it, yeah.
You haven't played them this year, right? For you specifically?
No, I did, yeah, Pittsburgh game.
Okay, that's right, your first game.
Yep.
Do you do anything differently as a receiver because they have such a potent pass rush?
No. I'm always, working to get open on the timing of the play to begin with. So, it's really just, faith and, our O-line and J Love making sure that protection's good. That's not really, unless I'm part of the protection, that's not really something that I'm too, tuned in on. There's always a timing and everything to plays. So, that's kind of something that's always a thing.
How are you feeling, and you think you can be ready for Sunday?
I'm still taking it day by day right now. I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday. Same thing I've been battling with the last couple of weeks, so we'll see how it goes.
Do you think you re-aggravated it, or is it just kind of a rest?
Yes, I definitely didn't get hit on it last game. I did get hit on it in Detroit. But I think it's one of those things where just running or standing too long, it kind of just swelling and things like that. It gets a little stiff on me. But besides that, yeah, that's really it.
What's the biggest hurdle right now?
Just the range of motion. Whenever you get swelling in your joints and everything like that, it just gets really stiff. Yeah, that's really the only thing. I came out clean pretty much last week. Didn't get hit on it or anything like that. But it kind of bloomed up on me a little bit. So, yeah, they just been letting me, work through that.
Josh, did they have to go in and just do another scan just to make sure, or are they pretty confident?
Yeah, and I already got a scan. Everything structurally was fine. It's just the fluid.
That was the first you got anything since the first scan, or just the?
No, I got another scan, and it's just the fluid. Yeah.
This week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Monday. Yeah.
Late to the party, but are you planning to play Sunday? Would anything hold you back at this point?
I mean, I always plan to play. I mean, they gotta kind of tell me I can't play for me not to play. So I mean, for me, that's where my head is at. But I'm also realistically just day to day right now.
Josh, did they convince you not to practice? You remember saying last week that you hate to miss practice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Doc was like, man, just chill. But also, it's just me being smart too, because I don't want to. Technically, I can go out there and practice, but I don't want to go out there and then make it even more swollen, and then game days it's harder to actually play. So it's just being smart right now.
Did you feel like it was like a re-aggravation over the weekend, or is it just a continual build-up?
Yeah, it's just a build-up. Like I said, I didn't get hit on it last game, but towards the second half of the game last week, it just started to get stiff, just running around, just casual swelling. So yeah, that's the main thing, really, just trying to get the fluid out of there.
You said you could be out there, so are you medically cleared? You're just being smart today in practice, or what is that?
I really don't know what they want to do, what they're going to do, or what they're going to decide. But I know right now, for me, in my head, I always want to play, but I don't know. They're taking it day by day right now.
Josh, working with Emmanuel, what have you seen from him this year, that's given him the confidence that when his number is called that he can go out there and do what he does?
First, man, I would say coming into this OTAs, the thing that I've seen a lot from him is just his growth of, wanting to know things. And me and him will sit out the practice and we'll just talk about, okay, what you see right here. Okay, if a defender is in a certain position, what are your thoughts? And I always try to tell him, me personally, I always try to have 3 or 4 answers to every look or everything that I see. When it comes to playing this game in certain positions, but I always tell them, just trust your instincts. You wouldn't be here if you wasn't a baller, and just trust your instincts. And when you make a decision, be decisive in that decision. And you could tell he's playing with that confidence, and confidence is a big thing in this league.
How about Marshawn? He seems to feel close to returning. He says he's stuck with it. He's doing all the tests every week, and he's been a big boost in his career.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's my guy. I mean, I still ride with him every day to practice. We talk about everything, really, life, everything. And, yeah, man, I mean, Marshawn, man, he's been practicing fast. He's been going out there. You could tell he got them fresh legs out there running hard. And, I can't wait for him to get his, his turn and get his number called. I know he's battled through a lot of things, just leading up to this point, but we all know who he is, and we know he's a baller for real. We know he can add something to this team that we don't have, and we respect him and we love him. So we just want the best for him, and hopefully, he can get back out there soon.
Josh, if you do play, what is the challenge with this defense?
Really good defense. Really good defense. Probably the best defense we've played all year. We're probably or even going to play all year, honestly, because a lot of turnovers. Front 5 is really good. Back end, probably the best corner in football. You got 2 really good safeties, and obviously the linebackers is pretty good too. So this is gonna be a real test for our offense, and really a real test for our team. They playing at a high level, and even in games where you think that they didn't play as great, they still find a way to win, and that's what the good teams tend to do. So I got the most respect for that team.
Josh, you played your share of games in Denver in your career. Have you ever had any issues with the altitude out there?
Yeah, you definitely do. But I was trying to tell the guys that because they was asking me the same thing. The thing that I've learned when it comes to Denver is you have to make sure you almost hitting your second win before the game starts. So go into the game, make sure that whatever you do in pregame, whatever your routine is or anything, you got to really get after it because you kind of got to be tired, and so you can hit your second win. Because once you hit your second win, you good. But it's just that first little, 10, 15 minutes that kind of get people.
Josh, has it been frustrating for you going through this, especially seeing where the offense is the right direction it's heading into, the run game's going? Is it frustrating at all? It's like, oh, now I'm starting to deal with this injury?
Nah, I would say it's just frustrating. I I've been in this game. I've been in this league a long time, man. It's not too much that really just get me, discouraged or anything like that. We still know what's ahead of us. Now, if we was having this going into playoffs, then it'll be a little weird. But at that point, I wouldn't care because it's either do or don't. But for me, man, I know my body is not structurally wrong, so I don't feel like it's something that I really have to overly think about. It's just managing it enough to be able to go out there and be able to play. And with the way that I approach the game and the way that I view, when I step on them between them lines, it's a mentality that you kind of have to have. And for me, I know I'm going to be okay.
Josh, when you got to that 21-yard run,
Mm-hmm.
you broke the tackles, when you start to already have swelling there, or does it usually happen after the game?
Yeah, no, I already had it by then. Like I said, I came into the game, like I told y'all last week, I was like, I still feel it. It's not something that's just been gone away. It's still here. It's just that I'm playing with it. And so even coming into the game, like it still was some swelling in there, but it's just playing through it. It's just something that it's going to be there, but structurally nothing is wrong. So you're not looking at it in the sense of like, okay, if I go out there, am I going to get hurt or make it worse? It's just you got to play through the pain, and that's a reality of a lot of people in this league and at this time of the year. So it just is what it is.
And there's nothing you can do about it to keep it loose or anything like that? Or
the only thing I can really do is rest, and I don't really have that time to rest, so it is what it is.
Do you worry about not practicing then either during the preseason?
Nah.
You wanted to play because it gets you kind of into football shape.
Yeah.
Feel like you're there?
When it comes to practice, I like to practice just because I like to feel it, but realistically, it's not too much that I haven't seen or haven't, whether it's throughout my career or it's throughout the week of just watching film and actually even when I'm at practice, putting myself in every situation, like mentally taking every rep and going through everything. Really, I feel like I think about it more when I don't practice than when I actually do. So for me, I might feel like I over-prepare when I don't, but I definitely like to just feel it, my body and feel certain cuts, but I think I'm going to be all right.
Josh, is this Denver defense similar to what you faced when you were in Vegas?
Nah, they totally different. They always had a good defense, definitely a good defense, but they've never been at this level. The mentality that the defense has, the swarm, the turnovers, the everything, man. I mean, they like I said, they probably the best defense we gonna play all year. I mean, I have a lot of respect for what they're doing over there, and you love these type of games. It's gonna be a good test to see where we at as an offense and give a lot of guys in here a confidence boost if we have a good game. So it's gonna be fun.
Josh, I know this defense is so daunting. Everyone keeps saying it's amazing defense,
Mm-hmm.
but you guys are a pretty good offense.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys pretty juiced up to take on this challenge and maybe even beat a really good defense.
For me, my funnest games is when we play against the best teams, and I can't really speak for everybody, but me being the type of competitor that I am, it feels better. When you win against a team you should win. I mean, obviously you happy with the win, but when you win against a team that is really good, it gives you that different type of energy. It gives you a different type of confidence. And, with our offense, like you say, starting to hit it's at the right moments, towards the end of the year, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good test for us.
They fly around. They go out the ball a lot. And, they linebackers, they have a good pick game. So, stepping up in protection.
Your minute in Denver, is that ancient history now?
Yeah, I ain't worried about that no more.
Okay.
It's long gone, but I still keep that chip right there though.
Okay, so there's no, I want to go run for a billion yards against these guys.
I mean, I got the mentality to do that, but I'm not really focused on that.
Okay. How much confidence do you take from the Minnesota game when you had to carry the load and put up 100 yards?
I mean, I still got that confidence. Whether they give me the ball a lot, if they don't, hey, I'm still gonna go out there and do what I do.
What's the difference when you're taking 1 reps at practice? Obviously, with Josh not out there, obviously you're taking more. But what is the difference in terms of just being out there taking more reps?
I mean, the same in my eyes. It don't matter how many reps I get, I still go out there and prepare the same way.
What's worked for the running game the last few weeks?
Say that again?
What's worked for the running game the last few weeks?
What's that, the work?
Yeah, what's worked for it?
Us just been on our details, you know, the linemen getting today, you know, blocks and everything like that, and receivers getting today blocks as well, and just pressing our aim points and just reading the gaps.
How nice has it been to have Marshawn back out there?
Man, it's been wonderful, man. It's been a long time. We've been waiting for him to come back, and hopefully he can get going.
Against a team that's got 55 quarterback sacks, what's that like when it comes to your pass protection, helping out, or the tight ends, helping out the other line?
We just being physical, you know, staying on our blocks and, you know, making the right reads on it.
Why do they come from a multiple area, or is there 2 or 3 guys that you key on in terms of their pass blitz?
No, we just go through our progression as far as our, you know, blocking schemes and who we pick up and everything like that. So that's all. Just playing with our eyes and reacting. Thank you. I mean, it's a big difference, you know. AB, he's still like learning the playbook, but he's caught on very well to it. You know, I got a lot of trust in him, and then Sean at, you know, center as well. So I believe in those guys, so I know they're gonna get the job done.
Those are really big guys.
They are.
People can you watch tape? You see them moving guys up there?
Yes, sir. Always. Even in practice, I see it. So I know they're gonna, you know, do they want to let them, and we're gonna get it going.
Bill asked you about Minnesota. Is it different? You always had this plan. You always knew what you could do. But actually having done it, is it different kind of with that in the rear view and knowing that they've done it?
Nah. You know, I still, like I said, still got that mentality to go out there and do it again. If he's going, he's going. You know, if I get my opportunity once again, then I'm going to take advantage of it.
For this offense as a whole, you know, I guess how much do you guys look forward to an opportunity? I guess see how far this offense has grown playing a defense of this caliber.
You know, really just going out there and doing our job. Once again, you know, everybody in synced into it, and we can go on this run.
I guess Bill referred to your guys' team as a family this year. How does your guys' chemistry give you that extra edge out on the field?
Really just all about trust. You know, we always joking here, running backs joke with the running backs, mess around with the quarterbacks, linemen, and receivers, even the defensive guys. We all just be all in sync in one. So we just all trust one another.
In the shotgun, here's the snap, Jordan Love. Rainbow's middle, wide open. It is a touchdown for Bo Melton. Yes!
I was mic'd up today too, so there's probably some crazy stuff being said today.
Yeah, Bo! Get busy! That's it. Here we go. Please. Hey, B, I get that. Thank you. J.O. All right, then. Okay, then. Nice job, huh? You have any fun, Bo? A lot of fun. I like it. Little sneak right there,
I'm doing what I do. I just that boy up, no care.
Love, Rainbow's middle, wide open. It is a touchdown for Bo Melton.
Who's that? We got Bo Melton. Oh, 700, we got Bo Melton.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
And here comes Emmanuel Wilson outside the numbers 20, left sidelines. Wilson covered up near the 35-yard line.
Who? Okay, then. Watch this. Here we go.
Give me a Ric Flair on 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
into scoring range here. Toss Jacobs around the right end, has to beat Sweat. Cuts inside of him, breaks free. 25-20, bulldozing. What a time to bring out that one.
Oh, excuse me. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Can the beleaguered Packers defense hang on? 4th and 1, Chicago. Williams looking to floats the end zone. It's intercepted. An interception.
Respect, respect.
Love has time. Floats one. Watson down. Touchdown, Packers.
It means a lot to me for sure. Tried not to think about it that much, but I mean, as the game was kind of getting going, it was definitely creeping in my mind a little bit. Blessed to be able to do what I do, and I'm glad that today turned out how it did for sure.
To the house for the touchdown when 9 equals #1 receiver.
Watson has been stellar in his return to action, while Jaden Reed also got off on the right foot against Chicago.
I felt great just to be back out there with the guys and competing and doing what I love.
He's another threat that the defense has to be aware of, and he's just a playmaker. He makes plays when the ball is coming his way.
We all know what kind of player he is with the ball in his hands, so hopefully we can continue to get him back in there, and we know he's going to make some plays.
Toughness, swagger, playmaking ability, and he don't take nothing from nobody. That's Keyshawn Nixon. Here's Keyshawn. Caleb Williams signals for his tight end to go in motion, and then Williams looks away. And that's when Keyshawn starts creeping up, and here he comes on the blitz. Now Williams can really run, but he cannot outrun Keyshawn Nixon. Williams winds up on the ground, and so does the football. Next, the Bears are running a quick screen to DJ Moore, and he's got 2 blockers. Watch the way Keyshawn plays this. He does not wait, he attacks, and he attacks with violence. Look at him rattle Moore's cage. Probably loosened a filling or 2. Keyshawn Nixon absolutely blowing up the Bears' quick screen, and residual benefit. If you want to fire up your teammates, make a play just like that one. And now the play that iced the game for the Packers, and Keyshawn has DJ Moore man-to-man. Moore goes across the formation, Keyshawn goes with him, but Keyshawn sees a Bear receiver, Cole Kmet, breaking wide open and heading to the end zone. Keyshawn instinctively drops his coverage and takes the most dangerous man, Cole Kmet. Keyshawn with the athletic ability to catch up and then make a leaping interception, and the Packers win the game. That was Keyshawn's 16th pass defense, and that ranks tied for second in the NFL. And not so incidentally, why wasn't anybody on that guy?
Kind of just off instinct, took off and played the flat, and was praying that somebody was behind me to make the play on the corner, and sure enough, Jesus himself. 25 comes out the blue and makes a play. I was just like, thank you so much.
With Sunday's win over the Bears, Green Bay sits at the top of the NFC North after struggling in divisional play last year.
I just think we found a way to win a lot of these tight games.
Williams looking, floats the end zone. It's intercepted! An interception, and there is your dagger!
A year ago we didn't. So a lot of the times we were digging ourselves into holes and we had to come back and we just couldn't quite pull it off. This year there's been a lot less of that.
If the Packers want to stay on top, they will have to conquer another test. This time, it's on the road against the leaders in the AFC.
You can't take anything for granted, and we got a hell of a test coming up against the top-ranked team in the National Football League in their house.
Jordan Love's dart to Christian Watson for 41 yards and a touchdown, It was the damnedest inside zone run I've ever seen. Here's the play in question, and you can see from the tight end on one side to the tackle on the other, everybody's blocking inside zone. Straining, trying to create a gap for Josh Jacobs to go through. But Josh Jacobs doesn't get the ball. Christian Watson does. What in the name of Curly Lambeau happened? Pre-snap, Jordan sees 8 men in the box. He also sees a single high safety, but mostly he sees man coverage on Christian Watson. Watch Jordan. He flashes some sort of hand signal. Now watch Christian. Christian relays said signal to Romeo Doubs. Now that kind of communication, whether it's hand signals, verbal, or just a look, it really doesn't matter. What matters is everybody being on the same page. Snap of the ball, the offensive line, they are still blocking inside zone. We're always the last to know. Even Christian Watson down here, he's not running his pass route yet. He begins by acting like he's blocking C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Look at him, he's stalking him like he's gonna block him, and then he explodes and turns on the afterburners. So thanks to preparation, communication, chemistry, and very talented players, the Packers go from an inside zone run to a 41-yard touchdown. And that guy, Bo Melton, said it best.
Oh man, that man's different. Everybody know that in his locker room. Like I said, he the gazelle, man. That man's 6'4" and run a 4.1. So it's hard to cover the man. Just to see him out there and just to see him happy and playing and him being healthy and all that, man, I thank God for that, man.
We're days away from a date in Denver where the Broncos could clinch a playoff berth with a win over the Pack. That will be no easy task because Green Bay hasn't lost in a month and they're bringing all that momentum with them out west.
Intercepted! Packers deliver the dagger!
You got to be resilient. You got to keep fighting. You also have to have a feel for your team, where you're at, where you may need to invest a little bit more time, how you might want to do something a little bit different.
I think we've been doing good at, getting a little bit better each and every week and a little bit more consistent.
Lofts the middle. Touchdown! Green Bay Packers!
I feel like we're in a really good place right now. I think everybody's got a lot of confidence in what we're doing.
Continue to focus on the process and getting a little bit better each and every day and hone in at one game at a time.
This one-on-one is brought to you by Brewpub, lots of matzo pizza. Oh, sometimes when I see you make a play when you're practicing with the offense, and I see afterwards and I've said, when are they gonna call your play? I hope they call your play this week. They called your play.
Look, Rainbow's middle, wide open. It is a touchdown for Bo Melton.
Jordan threw a great ball. Got to get in the end zone, got to celebrate with teammates. It was a good, surreal moment.
Longest career catch. Do you think about stuff like that?
I mean, you just told me now, like.
Touchdown, 45 yards.
Okay, you score the touchdown, you do a little dance with Jaden Reed, you go to the sideline. What was the sideline like?
Oh man, I was actually mic'd up this game, so I got to the sideline. Some things I was talking crazy, but.
Yeah, Bo! Get busy! That's it. Here we go.
My teammates, man, I love this team. I got a bunch of handshakes with my guys. We're here every day, these are like my brothers, so every time I see them, they was hyped for me, man. I was just happy to be around them.
You do offense, you do defense, you do special teams. Can you talk about the challenges that go into being the one-man complementary football?
Yeah, it takes a lot of studying
I think the coaches really gave me the joy to go out there and do it, and then the players especially, they keep me up every week. You know, to studying the game plans on both sides of the ball is not easy, but it's something that I have learned to enjoy, you know, in this process.
It's clear your teammates and your coaches love everything that Bo Melton is about. Do you feel that, and do you draw strength from it?
Well, absolutely. You know, I feel the love from the team. They believe in me. You know, the organization believes in me. The players believe in me, and I believe in everybody in this organization too. So we're all in this together for sure.
Hey everybody, it's Three Guys with Three Things, and Mike, you are up.
Well, Larry, this Denver pass rush the Packers are going to face on Sunday is like no other in the NFL this season. They lead the way with 55. Last year, the Broncos set their franchise record with 63, and they're probably going to break it already again this year. And they're threatening the 85 Bears, the 72 sacks, which is the all-time record in the NFL. Nick Bonito is the leader of that bunch up there in double digits. But if I counted right, they have 7 different guys with at least 3 sacks on the season. They come from everywhere. They get after the quarterback like nobody else. And offensive success on Sunday for the Packers will start with protecting Jordan Love.
Zach Allen is a force inside as well. Weston.
Last Sunday, the Green Bay Packers converted 8 of 12 third downs, and that once again propelled them into first place in the National Football League in third down offense. Well, it is time for the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. The Denver Broncos, number 1 in the league in third down defense. Who prevails in that area likely will go a long way in determining who wins this game. What's been impressive, though, about the Packers to me in their third down offense this season, they've done it both ways. When it's been third and long, Jordan Love has found a way, and as we saw in that victory last Sunday, he also is a guy by the name of Josh Jacobs. We didn't practice today, but when he is on the field, my goodness, that guy can make a play, especially when it's third down and need to move the sticks.
Guys, the Denver Broncos have won their last 5 games by a total of 17 points. Now, they also have 5 fourth-quarter comeback wins. And this season, they have 9 wins in 1-score games. And you know what that says? It says the Broncos are due to get beat. And that's Three Guys with Three Things. See you next time.
Wakes me up from my sleep. My eyes are soaking wet from all the tears that I weep. When you're coming home is the question on my mind. But you never answer me, ignoring me all the time. Oh, I wish I could turn back the pages.
All I wanna do is make the whole crowd bounce, y'all. Bounce, y'all. Bounce, y'all. Bounce, y'all. Bounce, y'all.
The Packers had a dominant performance against the Broncos on December 28, 2003. The defense was all over Denver, holding them to just 3 points all game. Running back Ahman Green led the offense and made history with a 98-yard touchdown run. He would set the franchise record for the longest rushing touchdown in Packers history as he led the Packers to a 31-3 victory. Memorable moments brought to you by Oneida Casino Hotel.